Guys, I'm really excited to make this video today. Today I'm bringing you the Ibanez Portamento. Now this is a fairly new design, or not design should I say, just a new bass guitar. I recently got the amazing chance to acquire this and been playing it for a while now, and I decided to do a pretty thorough review. So if you're interested in how it actually sounds and plays, you might want to skip forward to the last part of my video because that's when I'm going to be actually playing it with some drums incorporated, so you can just kind of hear the tones, the different tones it can offer. But if you're in here for the details and my personal opinion, which is based off experience and the details, then this is it for you. So here we go. I'm going to start with the basics, just kind of what I was looking for and what I needed and what I found. So here we go. As you all know, fretless basses are kind of obviously they're not as big in quantity as the fretted ones. So if you're specifically a fretless player and you're looking for something really nice, you can't just go to the store and go, here you go, here's a nice fretless bass. In fact, stores like Guitar Center and Musician's Friends don't carry fretless basses anymore because they say that, well, customers come in and play them and the fretboards get scratched, well, then nobody really wants to buy a bass guitar scratched fretboard, I guess. So that's kind of been the recent thing. So they say, well, if you really want one, you're going to have to probably buy it online, try it out. You got 30 days. If you don't like it, return it. So I've actually had to do that a couple times, and unfortunately those last couple times I've returned the bass because it just wasn't the thing. So I'm going to explain to you why I chose to go with this one, and why I think you should too. So, first of all, this is the 5-string series. Now, they do have a 4-string too, and I don't think they have a 6-string. That might be something they'd be coming out soon. It just probably depends on how much people like these, the 4 and the 5, because it is, like I said, a fairly new thing that Ibanez just came out from their workshop. And their workshop series are just kind of layout of bass guitars that they're kind of unique. There might be something special about their design. It's something new that Ibanez comes out with every once in a while. Sometimes the guitars don't stay around very often. Sometimes they'll just discontinue them. So this is something unique, if you would. This isn't just something that was always out there. I mean, just like the regular SR series. But if you're familiar with Ibanez bass guitars, this is pretty much based off of the SR Sound Gear series. You have the BTB, you have the SRs, you have a couple of other ones. Mainly the BTB and the SRs. So, and the SR series are known for their slimmer necks. So you will be getting a very nice, slim, comfortable neck when you buy this bass. Even though it's a 5-string bass, the string spacing is pretty narrow compared to the average spacing that's given. I think it's a 47mm nut spacing. I could be wrong, or 45. But anyway, the point is that it's really, really nice. I don't have very big hands, so for me to play a 5-string bass, especially when you're getting up after the first octave, it's a little bit of a challenge. So it's mainly the reason why I went with the Portamento, because it's based off of the SR neck width. So, however, if you're used to the SR series, you will realize that most of them are bolt-on necks. This, however, it's a neck through, so it's kind of something different. And basically you have the neck that's made out of it's a 5-piece neck. You have the maple, and I'll show you here. You'll see it better. Basically, what you have is you have maple, bubinga, maple, bubinga, and maple. So 5-piece neck, and the main body is made out of mahogany. And mahogany is a really nice. I'd say it's a more of a neutral wood for guitars. It's used quite often, and it's used in some cheaper guitars. It's also used in very, very high-dollar prestige guitars. The difference is when you buy a guitar, you look at it and it looks really nice. It's kind of like that bookshelf reflection going on here. But if you ever dig into it, if you ever take the pickups out or something, sometimes you might notice something very, very sad, and that is you'll see a whole bunch of glue joints. What I'm saying is manufacturers will take a whole bunch of pieces of wood and glue them together and make a body for a guitar. And that usually goes for the cheaper guitars out there. So, as far as I'm concerned, this bass is made out of all solid pieces of wood. Yeah, I've looked at it thoroughly, and I mean, you should expect this when you buy, a guitar for this kind of money. So, just wanted to say that and wanted to get that out there for you guys who are really, really picky about the kind of wood and the craftsmanship going on. Now, this is the workshop series guitar, but it's not the prestige guitar, so it's not made in Japan, unfortunately, for you guys who are collectors or something. I was hoping it'd be made in Japan, but usually when it is, it'll say that on the description, because that's something special. It's made in Indonesia. Indonesia is where most of the SR series bases are made, at least the average to higher end ones. And then you have the prestige that are made in Japan. But usually those run around 1,500 and more. Some of them I think 13. So what I'm saying is, I think that the craftsmanship overall of the bass could be slightly better. For instance, the nut, the joint where it's glued and everything, just by looking at it, it's just kind of like, yeah, you know, I think I could have done a better job, but overall, everything else is just, it's very, very meticulously well put together. All the seams, all the cutouts, they're all the same. And another very important thing is that the grain of the bass, which is, it's kind of hard to see from there, it's all going the right direction. Sometimes you'll have the grain a little bit offset somewhere, which means the cut was a little bit not parallel with the grain, which really bothers me. I don't know why. We have the fretboard. It's made of the typical rosewood that's usually used on a lot of basses. So it's I know there are different kind of rosewoods out there, but this is just rosewood. It's not lined or anything. So if you're a pretty novice player, that might give you a little bit of trouble. I've been playing fretless for a very long time, so the fact that it's unlined is okay. And this bass comes with something very, very forgiving. It's these fret marks along the top side of the neck. When you're playing, you can basically sort of see where you're at, and it's really just it's more than enough to see where you're at. If you need to, if you can't quite hear yourself playing, maybe if you're playing in a band or something, it's good enough to see where your finger positioning is. I've seen people complain about the dots, the octave markers. Now, yes, if this thing wasn't lined, they'd be in a different area. I think they'd be all moved slightly forward. I believe like on a typical, like a Warwick. But since it's lined, they went ahead and put the dot markers in the middle of each fret marker, just like it'd be on a fretted bass. So you don't go off the dots, you actually go off the fret lines, if you know what I'm saying. Another really, really unique thing about this bass is the fact that it's got a super long scale neck. The fretboard is not the regular 34-inch scale like you'd see on the regular SR series or 35. It's actually a 2.5 octave scale. You have your 1 octave here, second octave is over here, and then you have another half of an octave going all the way down to that neck pickup. So just a little bit more about that neck there. And like Ibanez was saying, what they were trying to do was they were trying to incorporate this into a style of an upright bass. So people who are converting from upright and transitioning, I say, from upright to electric, they're really looking for that sound and that feel and that play, and this is what really delivers it. So going on to the equipment on it, we have 2 Bartolini MK1 pickups. These are dual coil passive pickups. They are not active pickups. And if you're looking for a good fretless bass with that nice growl sound, I would suggest you have to have passive pickups. Now, I can't explain because I'm not an expert, but just by playing on different kind of basses, this is what I kind of found out over time. So, since they were trying to kind of make it sound like that upright, they did add a piezo system in the back. It's a piezo pickup that goes back here. How it works exactly, I'm not sure. I did a little bit of research, but how exactly it works, I'm not 100% sure. I'm sorry, I can't tell you. All I can say is that you hear the difference when you're using it, and that's the main thing when you're playing. So you can fine-tune it to your likings. So we have the controllers here. Basically what we have is, and it's a little bit, well, it's a little bit interesting. You have your equalizers on the bottom, kind of your frequency equalizers, but it has the high, or sorry, this is the low end equalizer knob. The next one in the middle is the high. It's not the mid range. This is the high end frequency equalizer. And this here is the amount of the piezo pickup that's going in the blend. And then here are all your 3 blend knobs. You have your neck pickups, blend, your bridge pickup blend, and the piezo volume, the volume of the piezo system, which is, I could be wrong, it could be the blend of the piezo, but either way, this increases the amount of the piezo is activated, and this just you control the volume that it's putting out overall. So later on when I'm playing, you'll see the sound difference that it makes. So it'll kind of be more explained there, and you'll see in the saddles right here. It's really interesting. It's actually got a plastic little dips in here, grooves that the strings go over, and that's kind of the first time I've ever seen that. Usually it's just all metal. And once again, what they were trying to do is give it that real nice, kind of that punchy and mellow upright bass sound. So they try to do everything they could to incorporate that in this electric guitar bass. So it's really nice and really unique in a way. Sounds amazing. In the back, now the back of this bass is a little bit cluttered, in my opinion, because you have your 9-volt battery, you have your electronics compartment, and then you have your piezo system, and you have little bitty screws in each one of these holes that adjust the height and as close it is to the string, the piezo pickup system. So I haven't messed with that yet, and I probably won't, but in the future if I get to know more about it, I might. So what I was saying about clustered is I think that the overall area on the back could be better. But, people don't see the back when you're playing, so it's whatever. Otherwise, it's great. I mean, the craftsmanship, like I said, I'd give it a 95% out of 100. Because it's for the money, it's well worth every dollar. Since it's kind of a unique model in series, I expected it to be maybe something like that came from the Japanese shop. But anyway, that's okay. So, the nut, or the truss rod, the truss rod and the nut are here. And the interesting thing about the truss rod adjustment, that little plastic cap that goes over it, usually you have like 3 bolts to unscrew it. Here you have a little little cap in there. What you do is you flip it open. I just use a little pick, and there you go. You have your compartment in there, and you have the bolt inside the truss rod. You probably still have to remove the A string, or at least loosen it to get it out of the way when you want to adjust the truss rod. I haven't had to do that yet, but I think I will eventually, because no bass comes out of the box completely ready to use. There's still a little bit of adjustments that need to happen, and when the strings get broken in, and you'll notice that the action needs to be raised because there's a lot of fretboard buzz. That's what I was experiencing, at least. So, yeah, pretty interesting overall guitar. I think I mentioned everything I need to mention about it. It's got the typical jack placement where the SR series do. So let's go ahead and see what it sounds like.